Hey guys, my name is Emily Buffington, and I am taking over my dad's YouTube channel. So, I want to start my first episode in a series of ranking my favorite D&D classes. I have been a player in a couple campaigns. I've been DMing for a year now. Each of my semesters at college, I've done a different campaign. Now we're going to go into my first class that I want to talk about, probably my favorite, rogues. So first I just wanted to go over some of the basics of what a rogue means, what you can do with them, kind of some of their advantages, disadvantages, some of the things that make rogues unique. They have advantage on dexterity and intelligence saving throws, and I think that having dexterity saving throws is really nice, and a lot of spells have dexterity saving throws. So being able to do that for like avoiding area effect damage is something that's really nice to be able, and during encounters, to be able to be out of the main flow of the damage while the rest of your party is like, you can be on the outside and potentially help your party when they're like kind of struggling because they're the ones getting attacked at first. One of the things about rogues is that they can get a proficiency in like deception and insight and intimidation and things like that, even though those are more like charisma and wisdom based skills, and like usually they're like rogues are being known for more dexterous, but you can still have those things, so then when it comes to it you can still do some role-playing capabilities and not completely be awful at them. So that's something that's really fun with them. And something that I really like about rogues is the expertise, so you're able to get like double your proficiency for it, and it's just really nice to be able to have like expertise in like stealth, especially if like you're playing like a sneaky rogue. Like, oh, I'm rolling like, and I get like a +9 to my attack like to my ability check, and it's just really nice that when you're at higher levels you get the higher abilities, so you're able to just kind of like sneak away, and it makes it really hard for NPCs that the DM throws at you to be able to find you, as long as you don't roll horribly. So I have lots of fun with being that, and I think that as a DM it's also really fun to have players like think outside of the box, because in my experience I've had it when like players know that they're bad at something, they just don't try it. So I love it. I have this one character right now and she knows that she's not super intimidating, but she always tries to intimidate people even though she knows that she fails at it, and I think that that's great. But then we have another guy in the party who like knows he like has a super low persuasion, so he is like, I'm not going to talk to any NPCs because they're never going to do anything I say. So that's one of the things that's nice about rogues, like as the DM having rogues, is that I feel like when they know that they can try and stealth away, or try and stealth to do stuff, they're more likely to try kind of more crazy outlandish plots, because they're like, oh well, worst comes to worst, I'm probably going to be able to sneak away. So it makes it so they try things that are crazier, even if that's not really the case, but they feel like it. So they go and they try for it, which I think is really fun as the DM, so I can like try and create situations that seem more outlandish and impossible because they'll still try for it. Something else that rogues do is they get to do sneak attack. It's really nice because rogues like usually use daggers and they only do like a d4, so it's kind of nice to have them have a weapon that can do more damage via the sneak attack damage. And then Thieves' Cant is another thing that you get as a rogue, and that's just something that I find really fun and like the flavor of it. And as a DM, I've used it a couple times to like have it like, oh, the rogue is able to find out more information, because usually they're not a huge part of like interrogations. At least the rogues I've played with haven't been like the ones intimidating, they haven't been the ones trying to find the information. They're usually off doing their own side quest, and that's how I usually play a rogue as well. So they're off doing their own thing, so their character doesn't necessarily know as much information as the other people do. So I'll do like Thieves' Cant, and while they're doing their side quests, they're finding out the same information, but they're finding it out through other ways, and they're getting more information that they can use as a party. And it just adds another dynamic, and it adds an opportunity to throw in a lot of other NPCs that would be in the underground world that would also be using Thieves' Cant, and it just adds like a fun little level to it, and I think that it's really a fun mechanic that 5e lets in. And then cutting action is another one. So those ones are really nice because it makes it so you can stab someone and then disengage, and then you can like move out of the way, so then they can't hurt you on the same turn. So you're able to kind of be away from them and not be directly engaged, which can be really helpful. And so roguish archetypes, I'm going to go over a couple of the ones, mostly just the ones within the player's handbook, because those are the ones that I know better, because those are the ones I played or I've had players play. Arcane Trickster is the one that I really like. I think that it's really fun because you get to like have a little bit of magic without having to get too bogged down in mechanics, because it's also like if you're able to sneak into a spot, it helps you be a little bit more defensible and you're like able to do something else besides just stab with your daggers. Like it adds a couple more options. And Assassin, they get to do extra damage if they like go before enemies and they have initiative round and get to do like automatically crit sometimes. So they're really, really cool. So those are some of the advantages and disadvantages of Rogue and their subclasses. So my first time ever playing a Rogue, I played a Rogue called Arrow Recurve. And she was really nice to be able to play because she was really basic. Didn't really put a ton of thought into her backstory. She was just kind of there to steal stuff, and that was a really nice motivation to go with. And I had a lot of fun with her. I didn't really pay attention to any rules or anything like that. I just kind of went with the flow. Fell in love with the idea of being able to be sneaky and have people like do stuff but not have people know it was me, and that was what really made me fall in love with rogues. And then the second one I played, I based them off of each other because they were with different groups of people. So her name was Arrow as well, but I named her Arrow Flint with a PH, Fletcher. And she was really fun. She was an Arcane Trickster rogue. Then the other one, I had a character named Ember Fury, and she was a Fire Genasi Arcane Trickster. And she was really fun because I had her just really focus on like fire stuff, and so I kind of had her be like an arsonist. So she would like sneak into places and then would like, her go-to was just like set it on fire. And so I had lots of fun like kind of being a more chaotic character than the other two were. In my next campaign I had a assassin rogue, and she was just amazing. Like she did a really, really good job with like knowing exactly how to do stuff and really optimized her character, and was probably the most powerful person in the campaign. So everybody was like rally around her, and she was really cool. She was this little Kaneku rogue named Stabs, and it was just really fun. This semester I have a rogue who's an Arcane Trickster. She's really fun because she's a little mouse, so she carries herself around on Mage Hand. I let her do it because I think it's really funny. Those are some of my experiences with rogues and the things that like I think are really fun, mostly from the DM's point of view. I really like having a rogue in the party because I feel like it adds lots of more opportunities for the players to do stuff. There is my conclusion on rogues. They're super fun. Work with your DM. Make sure you read the rules. That's one of the things is like, oh, is this considered a sneak attack? Make sure you double check and like know how it works, especially as the player. Like make sure that you know, so then you could just tell your DM, like you can be pretty clear with your DM and like not cause confusion during encounters, because it's can be frustrating to go through and read like, oh, what exactly is considered a sneak attack and everything like that. So that's like my one caveat with rogues, is make sure you do your reading on it to make sure that you know exactly how it works. But overall, super, super fun, and I absolutely adore them. Highly recommend.